In this video, we're going to look at HTML, XHTML, and uploading files to your web hosting provider's server. The purpose of this video isn't to make web designers out of you, but to give you a basic understanding and appreciation for what goes into building websites. What is HTML? HTML is a computer language for describing web pages, the basic code behind all web pages. You can think of HTML as the foundation and raw material for your website. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML uses markup tags to describe web pages, which we'll talk about later in this video. What is XHTML? XHTML is a stricter, cleaner version of HTML and should be used today in place of HTML for building websites. 517 Design uses XHTML for building all its websites. XHTML stands for Extensible Hypertext Markup Language. Why XHTML? Because many web pages on the internet contain bad HTML. Today's market consists of different browser technologies. Some browsers run on computers, and some browsers run on mobile phones and other small portable devices. These portable devices do not have the resources or power to interpret bad markup language. Therefore, all web pages should be coded using XHTML as recommended by the W3C, which stands for World Wide Web Consortium, as the markup language to be used now and to carry your websites into the future. Now let's take a look at the code behind an actual website. I've opened Dreamweaver, which is a web design program produced by Adobe, and opened an XHTML document I've started called 517 Video 3 Demo. Notice the dashes between words. You should never have any open spaces when naming a web document or image. I'm going to work in code view. I hand code all my sites. That way I have more control over the outcome and can easily troubleshoot any issues, which leads to a stable end result. I've already added the doc type. That's the code you see up top, which tells your browser how to display the information on this page. This doc type is XHTML 1.0 transitional, and it contains an opening HTML tag. Next, we'll add the opening head tag. Now the head tag here is not to be confused with the header container discussed in an earlier video. This head tag tells your browser that this information will be read and interpreted first. Under that, I'm going to add some basic metadata, which we'll talk about more in the section called SEO. I have this copied to my clipboard, so I'm going to paste it in. Next, I'll add the opening title tag. The title tag contains the title of your web page and is shown at the top of your browser. Let's call this 517 Design Basic Web Page. XHTML requires a proper opening and closing tag, so I'll add the closing title tag. And close off the head section with the closing head tag. Now for the information displayed in your web page. This starts with the opening body tag. Remember the body from the last video? Inside the body tag, we'll place information for the header, sidebar, main content, and footer. Next, I'm going to add some heading text using an H1 tag. I'm going to type in 517 Design Heading. And close it with the proper closing H1 tag. The words 517 design heading is the actual content that will be displayed on the web page, while the H1 tags define how this content will be displayed. There are 6 different heading tags, H1 through H6, with H1 displaying the largest heading and H6 the smallest. Proper heading tags keep your site compliant to W3C standards and aid in SEO or search engine optimization, which will be discussed in a later video. Thinking ahead, I'm going to add a subheading now that will end up in the left sidebar and will be a little smaller than the main heading. So I'm going to use an H3 tag. And I'll type in sidebar 1 content. And close it with the closing H3 tag. Under this, I'm going to add some paragraph text using a P tag. The P tag automatically creates some space before and after itself. The P tag is XHTML compliant and supported in all major browsers. I'm going to copy and paste in some text called Greeking. Greeking is used by graphic designers to simulate text in a design mock-up before we get the finished copy. And close with the closing P tag. Now I'm going to add some content that will serve later as the main content. I'll start with a large heading using my H1 tag. I'm going to type in the words main content and close with the closing H1 tag. Next, I'll add a couple paragraphs. Start with an opening paragraph tag and grab some Greeking from my text doc. Add a closing tag. Grab another paragraph of Greeking. Paste in my Greeking. And add a closing P tag. Doing it this way ensures that your 2 paragraphs will be displayed with a space between them. This isn't a Word document. You can't just hit your Enter key to add space and change your layout. All content needs to be told what to do using proper code. As you can see, what looks like a simple layout can become very time-consuming. Next, I'll add a subheading using the H2 tag. I'll type in the word subheading and close it off. Then I'll add one more line of heading that will be used in my footer. I want this to be smaller than everything else, so I'll use an H3 tag. And type in footer. And close it off with the proper H3 closing tag. Now I'll finish the page off with my closing body tag. And the closing HTML tag. Notice the content for the header, sidebar, footer, and main content is nested between the opening and closing body tags. Now I'll save the document locally, and it's ready to upload to my server. Let's take a quick look at uploading files to your web hosting provider's server. First thing we'll need is an FTP program like FileZilla, shown here. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol and is used to copy files from one computer to another over the internet. In this case, we're using FTP to upload our files to our hosting provider's server so they can be viewed on the internet. First, we'll need some basic FTP information to connect to the server. You'll be provided this FTP information upon purchasing your web hosting, and please forward this information to 517 Design so I can connect and upload your files to your server. First piece of information you'll need is your FTP host name. Second, your login, and third, your FTP password. You enter these three pieces of information up top. Now I've already done that, so I'm going to click Quick Connect to connect my server. On the left side, you're shown files and folders that exist on my local computer. On the right side, I'm shown files and folders on my hosting provider's server. I'm going to scroll down to a folder called Video, double-click to open that folder, and double-click to open a folder called Video 3 Demo. Now I'm going to go over to the left side where we saved the file from earlier. Look for a file called 517 video3demo.html and drag and drop that from the left window to the right. Now that file already exists on the server, so what it's doing here is it's asking me if I want to replace it. I'm going to click OK. That's it. I've just uploaded my file from my computer to the server. Now that we've placed our document on our web hosting provider's server, it's ready to be shown on the internet. Remember the folders that we uploaded our file to? Video and then Video 3 Demo? That's part of the URL or path to our web page. So I'm going to go ahead and type in video. It's already found it for me. Hit enter, and there you see our web page. This is a basic HTML page with no CSS styling. We'll look at styling in the next video. But you do see some variation in the size of the type. 517 Design heading and main content were encoded using our H1 tag. Our H2 tag was used for subheading, and our H3 tag here and here. And of course our paragraph tag was used for the smaller text in the middle. Now let's move over to the W3C Validator web page and see if our website passes inspection. First, I'm going to go ahead and grab my URL by selecting it and copying it to my clipboard. Then I'm going to go ahead and paste it into this field, and let's check it. As you can see, our document has passed inspection. It was successfully checked as an XHTML 1.0 transitional document.